Hello, Erica. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Are you in a particularly sober mood today?
Getting more than usual.
Ah, all right. Just asking. Just asking. Just, think, just seemed there was a touch of sobriety there. Did you say something, Beena?
No, I was just saying hello to Erica because I'm not sure that my voice passed on or not.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I've spoken to Erica, so no, I have not. No, it's the first time I see Erica. I have not connected. So yeah, yeah.
What?
It's been up and downs. Yeah, yeah. Well, I've been had a death in the family. That's what I was mentioning. Ups and downs.
Ah,
So yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
I'm sorry
but
to hear that.
things. Yes, it is, and life lives. Life lives itself,
Mhm.
and we have to live along with it, right, Beena?
Yes, yes, we have
Yes.
to.
I have to. Yes, yes. And it is times like this where I really and truly treasure those that are close to me and that I love. Yes? Yeah. Magical thing. Magical thing. So that's why I'm so positive and upbeat and just loving life. And all of you is part of it. It's a great joy, great gift. And we were talking about, Kay started off and I asked her what she'd been thinking about. And she's thinking about just, you know, that being and awareness, just awareness alone makes a difference in the world.
Mhm.
Right? They don't always necessarily positive, but can be, of course.
Right?
We don't have to go and do and be. So this was the entire theme. So and then I asked her, I said, I was in course making mode, so I'm thinking, tasks, and the task would have been right on that point. If that had been the slide that we were on, I would have said, I would have gone and made a question or a task which said, list or elucidate how you in your life have been affected just solely and purely by the awareness and the being of another.
Mhm.
Not what they did necessarily, but their awareness. Not anything they said, just their awareness and the way they are. So I said, give examples in your life of where this has been or is, either way. So I thought that was a cool question,
Yeah.
just as a task. And well, since we're on it now, I might as well ask you this question.
Yeah, that's a difficult one because I don't know that I can think of anyone off the top of my head that what
Okay,
they
I
did
have
or
to take some
said
time. All right,
didn't
all
also
right.
affect me. Like where the only thing that was affecting me was just their
Yeah.
awareness.
Well, not necessarily the only thing, but all right. So you may have been affected by something they said, but there were parts of them where you were affected by their awareness, which was not related to what they were saying or doing, right? So it's not in the entirety, maybe, but the parts of them. Like, for instance, then I turned the thing around after Kay had shared it, but I asked Beena what of Kay from an awareness point of view, who Kay is, in other words, how that has affected Beena. And then Kay amended the question, said, well, I try not to be affected by others, I choose. I amended, say, yes, well, you have chosen to be affected by somebody's way of being, in other words, not necessarily what they do or what they say, right? You may be also affected by what they do or say, but we want to focus in on the part, the way of being part. So then Beena shared, and then I also shared. So we'll maybe leave you to think about it, and then when you do share, then we'll share how you affect us.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll have to think
Right, right.
about that.
So this brings me to Dr. Naj,
Mhm.
because you were very much affected by what Dr. Naj did specifically, content that he shared, a particular viewpoint, a particular style. But if you take that and set it aside and say, beside that, was there something about him personally, the way his awareness set, the way his attitude, mindset, his way of being, in other words?
Right.
Was there anything in there that you took away from that wasn't so specifically connected to the points that he shared?
I mean, I think for me, it was almost all that at the time. I don't, I
Now
don't
we're
think
getting somewhere.
that he said, or, I mean, the things that he was trying to impart were different and helpful to me to a certain extent, but I don't think I fully grasped what she was
Can I
doing.
pause you 1 second? Sorry, Erica, your audio's a little funny. Is it just me, Beena, or am I struggling to hear
I
Erica a bit?
like major crackling going on in the background, and I don't know.
Oh,
So-
that's rain on my ceiling. Hang on. Let me turn my sensitivity on the microphone down a bit. I don't know if I can actually. Yeah, but I'm not hearing you so fluidly.
Well,
Is that just me, Beena?
I wonder if it's because in your audio is like.
Oh, no, because I was hearing Kay just fine. So yeah.
It's a bit.
I couldn't hear Mom hardly at all when she was Mom.
But it's a bit like muffled or something, like not clear. Your
Yeah,
words are.
yeah. That's what I mean with Erica. You sound a bit muffled. Yeah.
Well, I'll leave and come back.
Okay.
Oh, that was better actually. Oh, all right. Right as you said that, it got better, Beena. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always the best thing to do is leave and come back. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, much better.
Interesting. Okay.
So you're saying about Dr. Nash?
Anyway, I think there were things that he was doing. I mean, there were things that he did and said that were meaningful to me, that stuck out to me. But I think by and large, at the time that I was in his classroom, the thing that affected me the most and was the most helpful to me was just the way that he was the person that he was, and the environment that he created. And the things that he said and did had an impact on me from a deeper perspective later in life, not as much at the time. I think I didn't understand a lot of the depth of what he was saying. I knew there was moreness there, but I didn't necessarily have an appropriate application of it or whatever until later.
Say last part again, please, Erica.
I don't know what to do here to make this any better. I guess I can.
Oh, it's okay. Maybe just come slightly closer to the mic. That's all, I think, maybe.
Sil, you try to mute yourself when you are not talking.
Oh, is my sound problematic, Erica?
You're a host. So every noise or every sound from you actually.
Oh, okay. I shall mute.
What I was trying to say earlier, that your mic is constantly cranking. So
exactly. So now it is clear.
Yeah. Okay. Well, never mind then. I'll put these away. So I don't even remember what I was saying. The point was that at the time, the thing about Dr. Najd that was the most influential and beneficial for me was just the way he was, the person he was, the kind of environment that he fostered and created, and the specific life lessons and things that he was talking about. I didn't really understand the implications of them fully until later on, after I left the classroom, because I was not in a place to fully understand and appreciate and apply the things that he was talking about on a deeper level at the time. Interesting sort of, oh my God, I cannot concentrate with all of these. There's like 8 million things going on around here and I keep losing my train of thought. He was just the way he was I would have to think.
Okay, yeah. But it is like if, but
Right.
not having any verbal communication with you, but he just being himself. He could be your classmate. He could be anyone in administration or somewhere. Do you feel that now that he just being himself without sharing any value verbally uh, is might gonna affect or just trigger something, some positivity or any influence kind of to you?
I think it could for sure.
So this we know them. Does it affect other people and does it influence? I think that yes, it does. Big time, as you are saying that it does. Even if Dr. Naj was not, just to assume that he was not a professor, not giving any lessons, nothing, just being himself. So this is what we are actually trying to, I think, and Self will correct me if I'm wrong. So please unmute yourself so we can hear more.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was after. So it's cool. It's a nice thing to think about. And the key point of it, of course, was to make us aware of how we too are influencing the world around us.
Right.
This is very potent, very potent. All right, where we at, Erica-Jayne? Where we at? Other than what have you been thinking about since we last were here? Um, Before that, just a little bit of housekeeping update. On Friday at 8 o'clock, let's see, 5 to 7, yeah, 8 o'clock your time, we are going to have a new counselor. And he
You're gonna
teaches
have.
Qigong. He studied it.
Okay, I'm sorry. The audio like cut out and then sped up really fast. So I didn't.
Oh.
You're gonna have.
So we have a new person going to come on, and he's going to be doing Way of Impeccability, and he's also going to be teaching us Qigong. And so Friday is going to give an overview introduction what Qigong is. And so if you want to learn, you can come Friday, Sundays at that time, 7 to 9. But this particular Friday is going to give that, what Qigong is, introduction into it, and explain what it is all about. So, and particularly with looking towards specific techniques like breathing techniques, which allow us to do specific things. I'll let him elaborate and go into detail, but so this will be pretty cool. So, if at all you can be on Friday, this would be great. And then following that, so to 7 to 9, and then at 9 o'clock, sure, with a reading, and we'll go on live with that. So, if at all possible, Friday morning, that would be really great. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Cool.
Very exciting stuff. Yeah. So he's going to be doing Way of Impeccability also, which is also going to be cool on Mondays and Wednesdays. And then, he's going to be teaching us. I said, this is the trade. All right, cool. So I opened it to all the participants as well, not just, facilitators. So yeah, very cool. So it's a nice opportunity. It's a nice opportunity. But anyway, Friday, at least come and see what it's all about, and then we can go from there.
Right.
Yeah, very exciting. Very exciting. All right. So I don't have any other housekeeping things other than asking how the Dr. Nice letters coming on.
It's coming along. I ended up. I was really stuck with writer's block on every time I would change something. Then I would change something else, because I made this modification here and now this doesn't make sense anymore. And so it had started really getting away from something that felt sort of authentic to me. And so I couldn't really progress and I was having a lot of trouble with it. So I went through and sort of revamped it again, took it back to something that felt more like just sort of a conversational, something that I would say in conversation. And that helped me a lot. So I've made some progress. I'm still doing a lot of revisions, but I'm getting there.
Excellent. Again, feel free to either email or just message me with sentences, whatever. I'm happy to be a part of the process, and as much or as little as you like. Truly, I really enjoy it. So there's no limit there. It's not an imposition. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. So yeah, very cool. All right. Other than that, anything that's been, particularly on your mind that you've been
Um,
working on, focusing on, implementing, feeling?
so Mom and I follow Russell Brand on Instagram. And I'm always sort of constantly amazed that I really enjoy his perspective on a lot of really
Yes,
things.
yes, yes.
Given,
He is
given, yeah,
surprisingly more.
given his
Yeah.
previous, his kind of previous persona and personality and everything, it's really interesting. I think a lot of people would be quick to sort of discount what he has to say because they're thinking of him as, who they've seen on TV and movies for so long
Yeah.
and on
He's a
stage.
philosopher.
But yeah, I absolutely love his perspectives. I've followed him for a couple years now, I think. And I happened to catch a video of his from a few days ago where he was talking about the second impeachment with Trump and whether or not that was something that would actually be beneficial or whether it could be potentially harmful, and kind of what's the point, how could this be helpful, how could it not, why are we doing this, what's the real problem. And it was a really, really interesting video. I loved his perspectives. And really what he wound up with at the end was that when you really take a close look at what the Democratic and Republican parties have done in the recent past, not even just, over history, they are more similar than they are different. And, there's a lot of actions taken on both sides that, people tend to demonize one side or the other, and that really both parties are just as complicit in things as the other. And what? Just as demonic. Yeah. And so he was saying, for him, yeah. And he was saying, here's some people's arguments about why this is necessary. Here's some people's arguments about why decision that the leaders of these social media companies made. Social media in today's day and age has far too much of an influence in American politics. And just big business in general has far too much influence in American politics, and that we are, regardless of which party is in control, regardless of who's in the White House, as long as we continue to allow money to have the control and influence that it does in our election process, we're not going to have a government that's run for ordinary people by ordinary people. That's just not, it's not going to be that way. And it's not going to be, a real democracy, which was a really interesting point. And it got me thinking about how I think it's really interesting to me that, you hear people say often the concept of appreciating difference. And, that's a very currently popular thing to say, right? I see difference, I appreciate difference, I think difference is a really good thing. I'm not saying I think everything should be the same, but when you really look at, okay, I could appreciate that you like peas and I don't, well, that's great. There's somebody that can eat the peas and, it doesn't have to be me. That's awesome. But when we get to talking about deeper issues, we don't appreciate difference, because when someone disagrees with our opinion or our beliefs or whatever, we don't go, yay, someone thinks that I'm completely wrong and this isn't whatever. That's not what we see. And what you really see is people arguing to try to invalidate the feelings and beliefs of someone else, or validate their own feelings and beliefs, or get the other person to change their mind and agree with them. And that's how we really feel about difference. when we think about like difference that that we think matters. We don't. These problems, if we didn't have all of these divisive things going on, wouldn't it be awesome? And you know, we hold on to this hope that like, well, you know, someday all of that's going to be gone, and you know, we're going to fix all of our environmental problems, we're going to fix all of these racial issues, we're going to fix all of this, we're going to fix world hunger, we're going to do da 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 da. And wouldn't that be the perfect world if all of these things that I think are really important big problems were not problems anymore, and we had solved all of this and everything was perfect? And I think that is like, it's just human nature to have this. That's like our highest aspiration, is to fix the world, basically. You know, I want to fix all the problems in the world. I want everything to be perfect. I want there to be peace, all of this stuff. But what we're really saying is, okay, you know, you go, okay, well, how do you go about doing that? Okay, you know,
Here it comes.
you
That's
think
the big point.
that environmental issues, you know, I think that global warming is absolutely real. I can't believe that there are people who don't believe this. So how can I make the world a better place? By going out and preaching the word about how global warming is real, and this is something we should all be doing. And I think yada yada and da 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 da. And the more people that I can convert to thinking the same way that I do, and then acting in accordance with what I think should be done, the better the world gets. Because the things that I think are important are now important. The things that I think needs to be fixed are now fixed. That is what we think the perfect world looks like, is basically everybody believing that together to get all the things done that we think need to be done or fixed or whatever. And is that really what makes for a perfect existence? I mean, if every want everybody to be the same line, and that when you start really thinking through, okay, you know, no, you're right. All right, I don't want everything to be exactly the same. I don't want everybody to think like me, because I recognize that there's value in difference. But if it's not my job to go out and preach my beliefs and my story with my life, and how do I appreciate difference, and you know, how whatever. So I've been going down that process, thinking about these things. And one of the things that I was talking about with Mom was, I said, okay, you know, if the world was supposed to be, or if our existence was that of total similarity, commonality, you know, absolute calm waters, no disruption, nothing even resembling or remotely resembling, you know, dissonance in any way, then why wouldn't